New shows, new casting, and a newly trimmed beard. This and more on TVEnthusiast, the week's news.
The week's news on TVEnthusiast.com.
Hello, I'm Tyson Gifford, Editor-in-Chief of TVEnthusiast and your host for the evening. Let's get started. First up, some new shows. Greg Berlanti, the creator of Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and all of those interconnected DC shows, is going to be making Black Lightning. We've talked about this last week, I believe, where he was shopping around the idea of the series to different networks. Well, now it's been picked up by Fox, who also produces and airs Gotham, another DC property. Warner Brothers TV is close to finalizing a deal for The Knicks. This is a J.J. Abrams produced, and he'll apparently be directing a few episodes. This will be starring Meryl Streep, who will also produce the series. It's based on a best-selling novel by Nathan Hill of the same name. And the story is about a hippie mom who throws rocks at a conservative governor. This causes a lot of press attention, and eventually it leads her opportunistic son, who's been distant from her, to write a very negative profile about his mother. NBC is developing First Responders with Vin Diesel. It's about a group of tight-knit military veterans who work in search and rescue. It's going to kind of play on that whole family dynamic that they have in The Fast and the Furious. USA Network is looking into The Sinner, which will star Jessica Biel, who will also produce the series. It's based on a best-selling novel by Petra Hamusfar, about an enraged mother who commits a very public act of violence. The series explores the why rather than the who or what. USA is also producing Damnation, a period piece set in the 1930s. The pilot episode will be directed by David Mackenzie, who recently directed Hell or High Water. Hulu has picked up a 13-episode order for Future Man, the new series from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who recently brought us Preacher. This stars Josh Hutcherson from The Hunger Games, and it's about a time-traveling janitor who's trying to save the world. Lastly, Heathers is being developed by TV Land. Now, Heathers was based on a cult 1988 film starring Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. This version is going to be a modern-day black comedy. It's an anthology series similar to the way that Fargo does a different season each year. No word on if they're going to interconnect, though. The series is being written by Jason Micallef, who wrote Butter. And every season is going to feature a different group of Heathers. The first season is going to feature a very different group than the original, including a black lesbian and a trans woman. Some shows have been canceled and some shows have been renewed. Feed the Beast was canceled by AMC. Queen of the South was renewed by USA. TNT's The Last Ship was renewed for 2 more seasons. And Narcos was renewed for 2 more seasons by Netflix, just after its season 2 premiere. And now we got some casting stories. So first off, this one kind of barely fits in the category, but wrestler Chavo Guevara is set to train Alison Brie and the cast of Netflix's new series Glow, which is about the old Glow female wrestling program that was on. Interestingly enough, Chavo's own uncle, Mondo Guerrero, was the trainer for the original Glow series. Chris Connor from American Horror Story and Ado Essendo from Vinyl have joined the cast of Netflix's Altered Carbon. Connor portrays Poe, an ancient artificial intelligence, while Essendo portrays Vernon Elliott, an ex-Marine who lost his family. A lot of casting news coming for Godless, the new series from Steven Soderbergh. Scoot McNairy has been cast as Sheriff Bill McNew, Sam Watterson as Marshal John Cook, Kim Coates as the volatile Ed Logan, Audrey Moore as the highly sexual Sarah Doyle, Christiane Siddell as the mysterious Martha, Randy Oglesby as Asa Leopold, Justin Wellborn as tracker Floyd Wilson, and Christopher Fitzgerald as smooth-talking J.J. Valentine. Laurel actress Katie Cassidy has confirmed that she will appear in Arrow's Season 5 premiere. Now, her character died in the last season, and they said that they are not going to go back on her death. Though, on sister show The Flash, they had her appear as a doppelganger from a different universe. They also have flashbacks on the show, which is how I'm willing to guess that they're going to feature her. Lastly, there was a rumor that Murder, She Wrote star Angela Lansbury would be cast in Game of Thrones. This has sadly been debunked. Anime fans get excited. Crunchyroll and Funimation are going to be splitting responsibilities on anime. This means that Crunchyroll will focus on subtitled simulcast, while Funimation will focus on dubs, and they're trying to bring dubbed anime to a near simulcast speed of release. The two will be sharing catalogs from now on, which means that if you prefer subtitles, you can stick with Crunchyroll and get pretty much every new show that's coming out. Likewise, you could do the same if you prefer dubs on Funimation. The full details of the deal have yet to be revealed, but Crunchyroll is on a quest to be the simulcasting home for all anime, and this brings them a big step closer. And now let's take a look at what's coming up on the horizon. Today, Friday, September 9th, 2016, Query debuts on Cinemax, and One Mississippi debuts on Amazon. On Sunday, September 11th, 2016, Masters of Sex debuts on Showtime, Indian Summers debuts on PBS, and Son of Zorn debuts on Fox. On Wednesday, September 14th, 2016, South Park returns to Comedy Central, Blind Spot returns to NBC, American Horror Story returns to FX, Legends of Chamberlain Heights debuts on Comedy Central. On Friday, September 16th, 2016, High Maintenance debuts on HBO, Z Nation returns to Sci-Fi, Fleabag debuts on Amazon. On Sunday, September 18th, 2016, the 68th Annual Primetime Emmy Awards debuts on ABC, and Case Closed returns to CBS. On Monday, September 19th, 2016, Gotham returns to Fox, Lucifer returns to Fox, The Good Place debuts on NBC, and The Big Bang Theory returns to CBS. On September 20th, 2016, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returns on ABC, Brooklyn Nine-Nine returns on Fox, New Girl also returns on Fox, as does Scream Queens. This Is Us debuts on NBC, and Bull debuts on CBS. On Wednesday, September 21st, 2016, Lethal Weapon debuts on Fox, Empire returns to Fox, The Goldbergs returns on ABC, Speechless debuts on ABC, Modern Family and Blackish both return to ABC, as does Designated Survivor, and Survivor, the reality show, returns on CBS. On Thursday, September 22nd, 2016, Superstore returns to NBC, The Blacklist also returns to NBC, Rosewood returns to Fox, Pitch debuts on Fox, Notorious debuts on ABC, How to Get Away with Murder returns on ABC, and Easy debuts on Netflix. And now it's time for the question. Star Trek just turned 50 years old. So let's celebrate by asking the age-old question. Which Trek captain is the best Trek captain? Kirk, Picard, Sisco, Janeway, or Archer? Thank you everybody for tuning in to TV Enthusiast, the week's news.